Hello everybody, and it's time once again for another edition of Wrestling Man's Retro Review. Of course, this is the only YouTube live video, wherever you're watching this. This is the only series where I take your votes, you the fans, and pick from your votes the Coliseum video that I watch and review for you, the fans. Now, of course, Coliseum video, as we all know, is no longer in existence. But there are tons and tons and tons of these videos that you can find on eBay, on Amazon, and have, hopefully, for your permanent home video library. Well, it's time for the latest review, and this one was actually even closer than the previous voting. And this one is actually the second time I'm doing a personality video. It is Hulkamania. The very best, well, not the very best, but it's the best of Hulk Hogan. And you know, it's sort of weird that since this Monday night is the beginning of the new Monday Night Wars, and Hulk Hogan is a big part of that coming up this Monday night, that the votes actually went to the way of this videotape, Hulkamania. Now, I want to show you the back of this, and I'm going to point out the very first thing you see. Hosted by Mean Gene Okerlund. Far, far from the truth. It's actually hosted by Vince McMahon. Now, Vince McMahon, we only get to see him like 2 or 3 times in a video, introducing the video, and then a segment in the tape, and then doing an interview with Hogan. But we don't have to worry about that later. Now, something I will point out about this video is that Gorilla Monsoon, who I still believe is one of the greatest announcers of all time, was the announcer for every match on this tape, either via the live event that took place or pre-recorded commentary, which is in 2 of the matches. Now, there are 5 matches on this tape, and why don't I go right to it. First match on the tape is a match that I've seen about a dozen times, and I gotta admit, I actually like this match. It's Hulk Hogan versus Greg the Hammer Valentine from Philadelphia in 1984. Now, this is a good match because it's really showing you Hogan in a match with a guy like Valentine, who really didn't get many opportunities at the WWF title, and I think that's something that he should have gotten a lot more of, you know, in the late 80s and early 90s, is a shot at the WWF title. He might not have won the title, but, you know, he should have deserved a lot more, in my opinion. It was a good match. This one wasn't clipped as much. It was clipped, but it wasn't as much as you would think. Hogan gets the win. Second match is Hulk Hogan against Big John Studd, also from 1984. Actually, the main thing you will notice is all 5 of these matches took place in 1984. Another very interesting thing about this match is that Howard Finkel is the color analyst with Gorilla Monsoon. He's not the ring announcer. Gary Michael Capetta is the ring announcer for this event in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And of course, this match is the beginning of 3 consecutive matches where Hulk Hogan blades. This match, not a good match. I mean, the whole point of this one was Hogan trying to body slam Big John Studd, get the $15,000. Match ends with Hogan body slamming Studd, but it was on the outside of the ring, but Hogan did get back in time to win by count out. And then the TNT segment with him and Vicious Vince and Awful Alfred, as he calls him, you know, with his Python shake machine thingy. You know how that goes. Then the next match is the bloodbath of the 5 matches. Him against Dr. D. David Schultz. Now, this match, number 1, takes place in Minnesota, in AWA territory during the AWA. So remember that. Number 2, Mean Gene Okerlund is doing not only ring announcing, but commentary. And Mean Gene was a good commentator. I'm not going to take that away from him. He's a very good commentator. But yeah, this is the bloodbath of the matches on this tape. Hogan bleeds first, and he bled a lot in this match. And then Dr. D bleeds. And then something pretty cool about this particular match is late in the match, David Schultz goes for an elbow drop from the top rope, misses. They stopped the match for a minute, showed the replay of David Schultz going for the elbow drop from the top rope and missing, and then Hogan got the 1, 2, 3, and then there was a little fight after the match. Then, the fourth match, which I felt of the 5 was the best. The Hogan-Schultz match was a very close second, but the best match on the tape was Hulk Hogan and Big John Studd in a steel cage for the title, and both men were bleeding a lot in that match. Of course, it was, clipped, but still, you saw a lot of blood in there, and Hogan got out the cage, wins the match, stays champion. Then they do an interview segment, Vince McMahon and Hulk. I don't know, to say if this was the truth or not, but it's like, Vince is like, so, how did you get involved? So, what got you into wrestling? Well, something, Mr. McMahon, my dad, he was a big sports fan. He got, the football magazines, the baseball magazines, and the pro wrestling magazines. So he took me, one night to see the matches. We were front row, and we saw these guys running around, bumping into each other, the blood, the sweat, the tears, and that's what got me into wrestling. Boy, what a bunch of crock that was. That interview was painful to watch. Painful. And then the final match, really the match that began Hulkamania, Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik for the WWF title, January 23rd, 1984, in the Garden. Don't really need to review that match. We all know how it ends. So what is my take on Hulkamania? Well, I do have a couple problems with this tape. Number one, there are not enough matches. There are only 5 matches on this tape. Now, this is your first profile video tape. You're the WWF. You're trying to bring new fans in. You only have 5 matches of what you're pushing as the top guy in your company. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2, the entire length of the video is too short. 70 minutes. Most of the Coliseum videos go at least an hour and a half. This one goes barely 70 minutes. If it wasn't for the previews of the next series, this would be under 70 minutes. So, would I say go for this particular tape? I would say go for it on one of 2 conditions. If you are a die-hard Hulk Hogan fan, or if you are someone who loves to collect videos like I do. I got this because I love collecting videos, and the 6 Hulk Hogan videos that came out from Coliseum Video, I probably would put this one at the bottom of the list. It's not that good. Like I said, Hogan and Schultz, and then Hogan and Studd in the cage are the best matches on the tape. I thought this was not as good as it, should have been. Especially, you're trying to bring these new fans into the WWF. Here's Hulk Hogan. Here's our big guy. And you only show 5 matches. But, I don't really complain that much. Well, thank you for taking the time out to watch this video. Sometime next week, I will put up another voting video to where you, the fans, get to pick the next Wrestling Man's Retro Review.